privileged to yet again be here tonight to present to the Chamber my annual portfolio report for communities. There is much to share, but I will be trying to keep to time. It's been a very busy year for community development, and we continue to build strong foundations working closely with our communities and the voluntary sector. We are very lucky to have a strong CVS in Thurrock, and they have been able to support us on various projects, including hosting the Joint Strategic Compact meetings, leading on consultations and sitting on the partnership board to develop the first community hub. They did a fantastic job facilitating the community area at this year's Tea Fest, and are currently taking the lead on administering the voluntary sector development grants. I would like to thank Councillor for the work that she has done on the review panel for the voluntary sector grants. It's been a very difficult process, but I think that we are just about there. It truly feels longer than a year that I've brought to the Chamber the concept of community hubs. But it was just a year, and I can stand here tonight and say that the South Ockenden Hub has been a fantastic success and is busy from the moment it opens in the morning to the moment it closes each night. Up until this week, 5 people who had volunteered at the hub had secured work, but this week this increased to 6 after we received a lovely letter from a lady who moved into Ockenden. She knew nobody, was unemployed and started volunteering at the centre. She now has new friends and this week started a new job, but she will continue to volunteer at our centre. We are currently working with communities across Thurrock on what a community hub would look like where they live and who should be the key players and partners within each individual hub. So please watch this space as we hope to announce the next community hub location early next year. The corporate diversity team again worked hard to build stronger communities and relationships, to tackle social exclusion and make Thurrock a place where all of our communities feel that they are listened to and can participate. International Women's Day is growing in attendance year on year, and this year we had 3 inspirational Thurrock women openly share their life experiences with those who attended the lunchtime event. If any male councillor here would like to take the lead on International Men's Day, please feel free to speak to me. It's November the 19th next year, so you have plenty of time to plan ahead. This year was the 100th anniversary of the Windrush docking at Tilbury Docks. The corporate diversity team led on an outstanding piece of work that started with a cruise down the Thames to the landing stage. A celebration event was held at the cruise terminal, followed by a community day on the Sunday. Tea Fest was held over the summer and returned to its regular weekend, which meant that the weather was kind to us. The communities were able to enjoy a fun-filled weekend of music from the famous, some old-time favourites and community performers. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to Councillor McPherson, Oji Tolia and Lydiard, who all sat on the cross-party working group. As usual, it was a good cross-party working. There was a few moments of disagreement, but I have to say that there was absolutely no blood spill. The Museum and Heritage Service too has had a busy year and continues to be led by Jonathan Catton, who is without doubt a walking history book. I am always amazed at his ability to tell a story on every area in Thurrock and also I think every street. Next year sees the 100th anniversary of the Great War started, and as I shared with the Chamber last month, we are already have a working party that is looking at a range of events to commemorate this. You will see in my report that Arts in Thurrock continues to produce some fantastic events ranging from the Drama Festival, which has now expanded to incorporate a speech festival. The National Skills Academy Backstage Centre opened in November and has already started to attract big numbers at its opening events. In light of these difficult times, Thameside Theatre continues to put on some great events. My own favourite this year had to be the Bay City Rollers, which was packed with lots of middle-aged women reliving their youth and their crush on Les McEwen.
Councillor Rory, you have 30 seconds.
All right then. We are currently doing... That's what's going to We are currently... I'll do my announcement at the end of my summing up there. We are currently doing a piece of work on the overall arts offer in Thurrock and how we can ensure that our residents, both young and old, can access a wide range of events and good quality facilities. And I will shortly be taking this piece of work to the Cabinet, Mr Mayor. And I'd like to sum up again.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the point in the year when I get to be slightly jealous of Councillor Worrell, not only for her undeniable wit, charm and good looks, but also because she gets to present a report on a portfolio of such interest, such breadth, and of such deep interest and concern to myself. When you look at this report, it really is a significant success story in terms of the council moving forward, engaging with local communities and starting to work in real partnership, rather than this sense that perhaps in the past has occurred that communities have things done to them by the council rather than with them. You've highlighted many of those successes. I won't attempt to repeat them all. The only one I'd just like to ask a question on, which isn't really highlighted in here, is the community engagement strategy, which we both spent a great deal of time working on a year or so ago. We haven't really been able to take it forward, and we haven't seen any community councils successfully start up this year. My personal view is that the forums are actually doing a reasonably good job of consultation, and the way to get real engagement with the community councils would have been to give them some real powers over what happens in their local area and some real money that they have influence over spending. And without the power and without the money, there hasn't been the interest in people engaging with these things. Are you willing to look at again at community councils and work out what powers and what budget we can give them to really enable them to fulfil the aspirations that we have for them?
I think that it was always seen that a community council would sit there until there was a big decision that would affect the local community, whether it was a big planning decision or there was a major development that would happen. But I do realise that they are sitting there quite dormant and quite happy to look at that again. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Rocknandy.
Well, thank you for your report. I mean, there's been a lot of positive comments about the community hubs. I'd just like to ask you, how do you plan to sustain this?
Can you answer the questions at the end? Be the best one. Sorry, carry on.
Can I answer?
Sorry.
Is that all right? I don't know, I've got my own report out here, so I don't know what page it is, but on the very last page of my report, there is a small section at the bottom of the finance that says that the medium-term financial strategy has built in for community hubs going forward for the next 3 years. But sustaining them is about each community that we're working with to put together a proposal and bring that to the partnership board. And each of those will be looked at on an individual basis, because no two hubs are ever meant to be the same. They are really enablers for communities. What you've got in Ockenden is going to be completely different to the setup that they started to talk about in Stiffer-Clage just like last week. Now, they really are in a very, very different place, and each one will be very, very different, with a mixture of funding sources. Some may have health attached to them. You know, the police are now speaking to us, where before, at the beginning, I think that they didn't quite get what our hubs were going to be. We'll be looking at external funding, at grants. So really, this is new, it's exciting, and absolutely, that we are planning to make them sustainable in the future. Thank you.
Councillor Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Worrell, for your reports. On the issue of community hubs, you said that just under £3.5 million has been set aside in capital spending, with 4 offers of interest for hubs across the borough. Can you assure me that in Stamford and Corringham that the fair share of the funding will be seen? Considering how the borough is logistically divided up, it's quite possible that the east of the borough may only see one hub, and that hopefully at least the £500,000 that South Ockenden has seen will be spent on Stamford and Corringham. And one thing, I will just pay tribute to Mr. John Fox, who's a constituent of mine in Homesteads and is happily volunteering in South Ockenden Hub.
Thank you, Councillor Holden. I don't think that we've got a specific amount of hub money that needs to go in any one set area. We invited all 19 forums to the initial meetings. We're now working with 9 across them, and it really is about communities getting themselves together to get the plan together. We can't say that they'll be ready in time at what time. It could be that somebody that we thought maybe wasn't ready could absolutely get the community really up, running, and they will just bring their proposal earlier. Some may fall off, you know, but we are working with all of those that have shown an interest are having the same meetings right across the borough. There is absolutely no favouritism where a hub will be. So if your community is there, ready, working, got the proposal, the proposal comes to the partnership board and it will be considered. But what I can't promise you is that if 4 come next year, 4 are going to happen, because absolutely the budget cannot sustain us starting 4 hubs in a year. So it really will be about a sustained over the 3 years, which is what we always planned. You know, we can't suddenly say we're going to start all of them all together. So if you're working, then absolutely, you know, get the proposal together with your communities, but make sure it's real partnership. It can't be the council running a building. It must be community-led as well.
Thank you. Councillor first.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Your portfolio is absolutely fantastic with regards to volunteers and people actually volunteering their time. I've seen that the Civic Awards is being launched, so I'm helping you here launch it a little bit further. I did actually go on the website last night, and it's a constructive criticism. It's not the easiest of sites to use and to get in. Don't know if there's anything through the council that we can do to make it a little more user-friendly for those people who perhaps aren't computer literate but still want to be able to sort of enter online. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Mr. Warren.
Thank you, and the press are here, there's communication people here, so I'm sure that they can look at that tomorrow. So, and I will be summing up with the community awards. So if anybody's got any more questions, I'll leave it to them.
Of the work, and I was very pleased about that. And when you look at the budget spent on cultural diversity team, it seems to be that team was self-sufficient. And I was just wondering why we finished that team on October 31st.
Thank you. That team hasn't finished. That team has just changed the structure. We will still be doing our diversity and equality work. You won't see any dip in the amount of work that we do. It will just be done in a very different way. We're under the same scrutiny in my portfolio, in fact probably more, because it's a very nice portfolio to have and it's all of the nicer stuff, but it doesn't mean to say that we should not be looking at our own budgets to make sure that we're as efficient as that we can be, and that was done surely for that. But I'm sure that you're very aware that this work will carry on going in the council and outside of the council, so it really wasn't that we looked at that area particularly. And happy for you to monitor that through the year.
Thank you. Councillor Wendy Curtis is the last question.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I would like to sum up my report by announcing the opening of the nominations for this year's Civic Awards. There will be 11 awards this year, which will be presented at an Oscar-style ceremony on the Friday the 21st of February. As councillors, we all come across members in our community that we feel should have an award. So I think that each of us really should think about that and at least put in one nomination. You know, it's a privilege to be a councillor and work with our communities, so there must be someone out there. 11 nomination areas that you can choose from, and you can access this obviously by paper, which is why I'm waving this around, but also on the council website, which I will ask Constantine to have a look at. The panel is made up by Councillor Redsall, Councillor Key, Councillor Charlie Curtis and myself, so please take this as an early warning that we will be chasing you and we will be expecting you to put in some sort of nomination. And I'd like to thank everybody here tonight for their kind words, you know, because I don't do this on my own. I do this because we work as a team. You know, it's one of those portfolios that is always seems to be the nice to have, and I'm very proud to hold it.